Alright, here we are for another Innistrad draft, and we got an interesting card. Army of the Damned. This, while slow, you cast this, you probably are winning the game the next turn. Maybe this is finally the time to play blue-black. I almost always never play blue-black. It always seems like last draft, I was like, oh, maybe I'd play blue-black, and then I just started playing green-white again. This pack's got some solid white cards. I mean, we got the Mausoleum Guard, Midnight Haunting, Unruly Mob, Smite. These are all playable. Silver Fox, still playable. I mean, Rage Thrower is decent in red. Harvest Pyre, not in love with this card. But it's okay. I mean, so there's no other black cards, so that makes this guy even cooler to take, because the only card that, we're passing from blue-black here is Armored Scab, so that's going to pull people away for those colors. Like, the people to our left are probably going to end up fighting over white, or, like, I could see Mausoleum Guard, Rage Thrower, Haunting all going next, maybe the Scab in a bit. So they might be pulled into red or white, meaning that blue-black's probably going to be open, though I don't think black-red is such a bad combo, that we might be looking for that. Wow. This is quite the pack, too. I don't actually know how good Banshee is. I think it's very good, but getting that Morbid trigger on your own turn, it can be rough sometimes. That being said, I think it's still the pick here. I mean, this is a great pack, and we might actually wheel something. I mean, there's a Juggernaut that we'd want. Think Twice, Silent Departure, Forbidden Alchemy. I don't hate getting Altar's Reap, actually, especially if we have, like, tokens and stuff to sacrifice. Though, if we sack by this point, we're probably winning the game. Also a bunch of red cards, so like, let's see, like people will probably go like, if I take this, it might be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, or well, let's say just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, there's 10, 11, like there's at least something that's going to come back. And seeing 3 blue cards, we might be getting a blue card back because I think blue is slightly underdrafted, so that's pushing me to a blue-black here. I think Scourge of Gaia Reach is a very underrated and solid card. Might not be the best in a black-red deck where you have a lot of removal. Bond's obviously very good, but I don't think, as I said, we passed a lot of white cards in the first pack, and I don't think white-black is the best combo. Something that doesn't work very well with like Moorcut Banshee, so I'm not ready to get Bonds yet. Delver I don't really like. The Amulet I don't think it's worth taking just yet, even though this requires a lot of black commitment. I think I'd rather just stay on color with the Walking Corpse. I mean, he's good, especially like because we can send him in, trade with something, or just sacrifice him to get more cut out, and then maybe Ghoul Razor him back. So I think just loading up on zombies, he might even be the best zombie, to res early in a black-red type strategy. So I think just going for him right now is superior to going for any of these other things. I mean, with what we have now, I don't really look, not looking to build Burning Vengeance deck. I think Walking Corpse just staying on color is the best pick. And, well, if we're looking for blue-black, this might be the time to pick up the switch. Like, Dead Weight's an awesome black card. Good to stay on color. But Murder of Crows is just literally insane. And we passed enough blue cards that I think we're going to end up wheeling some. In this pack also, some decent white cards. So the person to our left is probably going to be going into white. And gosh, if somebody just rare drafts, hopefully we can cut enough stuff off. We might even wheel something slightly playable from this pack. I mean, if we get a last pick Ghoul Caller's Chant, that's not bad in blue-black. Like, I can get back to Makeshift Mauler and everything. I don't think we might get a Feeling of Dread or Nevermore at the end, but right now this looks clearly the pick. This card's incredibly strong. And yeah, is reason enough for me to switch into another color. Well, here's another Dead Weight. I hope we, throw out a black signal. Black was open at the end. I think Dead Weight's better than these other cards. I actually think Stitcher's Apprentice trumps Battleground, guys. Stitcher's Apprentice is a very, very good card. Makes all the removal kind of crappy. If it's out and you have 2 mana up, you basically have nearly a tapper because you can block with your Homunculus and then sack your Homunculus. So you can effectively shut down a creature. You can trigger Morbid. Put guys in the graveyard for your other zombies, your Stitch Drakes and things. But I think the removal here is just better, and Deadweight's a little bit better than Blazing Torch, in my opinion. Hopefully we get something like the Corpse or even the Disciple back later. This is another Morbid trigger, which I'm not too unhappy to see late. But yeah, I think the removal here is the best pick. Well, Now we have a choice. Again, blue is looking open, so I'm happy that we got the murder and we're moving into that. I think Patrician's very vulnerable being 1 toughness. There's a lot of 1 toughness creatures, like even the Pilgrim things you might see in green-white, Doom Travelers. Like, I think this guy's just so weak. He's good in a black-red strategy more than a blue-black strategy, where you have like a lot of vampire pumping cards. I don't know which is better between the Moonheron and the Geist. I lean toward the Geist first, even though we're higher on these casting costs. I just don't see the 2 toughness being all that valuable. I see the 3 toughness, and like if we pick up Moonheron later, I just think, yeah, Geist works with Moonheron. I think Geist is a little bit better, just in the long run, and the Moonheron slot we can fill a little bit better later on. This pack really finally doesn't have a card for us, which is kind of crazy since all the other packs were loaded up on stuff that we really love. I think Spectral Rider is what we'd want to cut here. Like, I don't see us playing any of these other cards. I don't really care about taking the bump in the night because this doesn't really go in a blue-black strategy, and Spectral Rider is going to be the hardest of these cards for us to handle since we really can't block it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab him there. This is an interesting pack. I mean, we're not really ready to splash anything yet. I don't think it's worth taking the Amulet. I like zombies in blue-black, and Armored Scab as a zombie provides the defense for us to get this kind of stuff out. Corpse Lunge, while not bad in our deck because we have some high casting cost things, I don't like generally that much. I mean, it's removal, but it's such situational removal, and when you have the other scabs, you don't really want to be removing your creatures early. I think, and you also need, before you get stuff like Corpse Lunge, you need stuff like Scab. I think Scab is just going to be better here. And Scab serves the same role as Fortress Crab, but just a little bit better because he feeds our graveyard. I mean, imagine like putting this into the graveyard with Scab isn't that bad. And again, here's another Scab. We tabled it. That's a good sign for us. I kind of forget what else was in the pack for us, but I was thinking that we might table this Scab, which is good. And yeah, there were a lot of white cards that have been taken. I don't like Lost in the Mists. We got a lot of 5-drops, just never really worth it. The Scab's much better. Hopefully we end up getting a Ghoul Colors Chant in the next pack. We'll find out. Think Twice. It looks like, I think there's like a Forbidden Alchemy and a Mauler or something in this pack. Or there was a third, or a Silent Departure. I think the Think Twice is much better than Reap, since it's castable early, castable from your graveyard, etc. Well, let's see. We have a Think Twice and an Army are our only... like this guy's... I don't like this guy very much. He's better in blue-white. I don't know if I really want something like Shimmering Grotto. Like, I don't think this deck's really going to splash. I'm just going to take this and cut it off. Like, they're good. The Ghoul Colors Chant. We really wanted this. We're hooking up, reinforcing the other person in white. I think this guy is not really playable, in my opinion. He's kind of bad. This guy is pretty solid in green-white. And, yeah, this guy back, we didn't get the Walking Dead. Or, sorry, the Walking Corpse. This guy's fine. He can trigger a... it's toughness, right? Yeah, so we can get a lot of life from these guys, get an extra one back with Ghoul Colors Chant, trigger our Morbid. That's not bad at all. I don't think we'll be playing Delver. As I've said before, I'm not a huge fan of that card. We're not playing Runic Repetition, and we just don't have a lot of ways to abuse it yet. Wow. So Past in Flames, not worth anything, not worth taking. I think it really comes down to here, while Interloper's fine, his blocking ability sometimes doesn't come in handy. I think it comes down to Scab Goliath or Screeching Bat. In regards to those two, I don't know what's better. I mean, we got a lot of stuff that we can fill our graveyard, but we also got a lot of high casting cost stuff. He is a zombie, so he works with our Ghoul Colors Chant, but he also removes our zombies. I think, honestly, I would rather have, like, Screeching Bat first. Like, since we are so top-heavy, like, we don't need to rush somebody down and kill him with a Goliath. I'd rather have some earlier drops that I can trade. I mean, he can be in a 5/5, can lock up the ground if need be, too, and provide defense for this. And I don't really want to remove stuff from our graveyard just yet because of Ghoul Colors Chant. So I'm going to go with the Screeching Bat here. This could be a mistake, but, yeah, Goliath is really vulnerable to bounce. Like, I'm not a huge fan of him just yet. Like, I'm glad to... Whoa, Moto the Unhallowed, I think, is the pick. But because of stuff like Silent Departure, like, he's just generally hard to cast multiple times. I think he's good, but I don't think he's as good as people think. Here, I think the pick is Mono the Unhallowed. While Ghoul Razor's awesome, he might table because, well, he only fits in certain decks, namely ours. Silent Departure probably won't table. Neither will Moonheron. I don't think we're going to really get anything back from this pack except for the Ghoul Razor, and even then, since there's no other black cards, it's doubtful we're going to get anything back. If we do get one of these, wow, that'll be great. But taking the Mono the Unhallowed is just... It's castable from our graveyard. It's such card advantage. It's a very, very good card. Every time this has been cast against me, I've kind of groaned myself, much like the zombies in this picture, probably, because it's so hard to attack through for green-white, and it's so much offense for this deck that I don't see ever really passing that. Wow. Well, there's a lot of lands in this draft. Diagraph Ghoul's really good, with Ghoul Caller's Chant, the corpses and everything, but I think nothing really beats Fallen Kirk Noble here. He's a flyer, he gives us life. Like, sometimes board situations that you can't really come back from, you can suddenly come back from just because of this guy. That life gain is very significant, and it puts people in bad situations. Tribute to Hunger. This card's okay with a ton of other removal, but when people are playing tokens, things like Doom Traveler, it just... I'm not a huge fan. Diagraph Ghoul is a very good card, but I don't think it compares at all in power level to the Noble, and I see no reason to take something that would allow us to splash when we don't have anything to splash yet. So the Noble is definitely a good pick here. And wow, another Murder of Crows. Okay, well, I'd really love some Deranged Assistance. Oh yeah, I think the Stitcher's Apprentice was in one of those packs that didn't come back, which... That was one of the cards I was thinking of. Yeah, it's looking more and more like we'd never play this card. Like, we already have 6 or 15 good playables, and we don't have that many spirits or sorry, instants or sorceries. We're picking up one here, though. I mean, Vampire Interloper's good, but nothing really beats this removal. Though it's situational, it's solid removal. And it's one of the few things that can point blank something at instant speed. Yeah, this is kind of cool. I haven't drafted blue-black. I think this is probably my 27th draft in this format, and I haven't really gone blue-black yet. I so gravitate to green-white because I think a lot of people try a lot slower strategies, more 3-color splash, slower strategies in this format, and green-whites just can have such brutally fast starts. Like, I remember trying to draft a Burning Vengeance deck one time, and my opponent basically killed me on turn 5. Like, I think I had flashback a thing twice, and I was dead. I don't think it was turn 4. That would seem really excessive, but just Champion of the Pariah, Travel Preparations, Pilgrim, all that type of acceleration can lead to some really ridiculous draws for green-white. And green-white has so much synergy as compared to these other colors. Though I do think blue-black has fairly solid synergy. Here, I guess we take another Ghoul Caller's Chant. I mean, none of these other cards really do anything. Lost in the Mist, I don't really... Even if they have something we want to counter, I don't care that much to take that card. The problem is we only have 3 zombies, but it returns any creature from the graveyard. So, like, if we mill something with Scab and we have Ghoul Caller's Chant in our hand, it can turn into a Murder of the Crows for 6 mana. So, hey, I'm not opposed to taking that right here. None of these other cards are exciting. Rare's not a good rare. I mean... Into the Mahel, a little too slow. That would be good against us. Not worth hate drafting over this at the moment. Ooh, wow. So this is a tough pick. We already have a ton of big creatures, so Corpse Lunge could be good. We don't have other things that abuse the removal from our graveyard. Typhoid Rats is a very solid card. I wish he was a zombie rat. You probably made him not a zombie rat because he'd be too overpowered. Deranged Assistant looks like it would probably be our best bet. It puts this in the graveyard, puts this in the graveyard, puts other zombies in the graveyard, and it ramps us to our more expensive stuff, which does matter for us. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Assistant. And we aren't too concerned about fighting against the Typhoid Rats. Village Cannibals is one of the few cards that I like in white-black. I think it is good in maybe a black-red deck with heavy removal, like in against a green-white deck. But Ghoul Razor, definitely the card for us here because of its interactions with Ghoul Caller's Chant and our Scabs. And we don't have enough humans or enough removal to really make Village Cannibals ever shine. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hide the Delver now. He's just not getting played in this deck. Not his deck. I mean, we might not even be playing something like Battleground Geist, depending on what we get back. Vampire Interloper's solid. He might not be the card that we play in this deck, but he's solid enough. I mean, he's a good beater. He's generally more better in an aggressive black-red deck than a more controlling blue-black deck, since I'd rather have like Walking Corpse that could trade with something and come back later for card advantage. Ooh, and another Ghoul Raiser. So he did come back. That was like the only card, as I said before, that I expected for us to have a chance at getting in this pack. Like, we didn't get the Moon Heron or the Silent Departure, but we got him, and we are very happy to see that. And now Rotting Fen Snake becomes quite the bruiser, since we have, what, yeah, he's another zombie. Like, I'm going to go ahead and hide Battleground Geist, believe it or not. He doesn't really fit with our theme. Like, the Fen Snake actually is probably stronger than him because of, yeah, the interactions with the Ghoul Raisers and the Ghoul Callers chant. Sensory Deprivation is a fine card for a controlling blue-black deck. In fact, this is something that, like, we might not be playing Vampire Interloper. He doesn't really serve the role of getting to the Army of the Damned. He doesn't, yeah, since he doesn't block, and he's not a zombie. Like, early on, I want to be playing zombies and just trading and building my, building my card advantage. This guy does not look like he's getting played either. Angelic Overseer. That is a beater of a card. And Geistcatcher's Rig. Well, we're not taking the Mythic, obviously. It's not really worth us taking. So it comes down between Dead Weight and Geistcatcher's Rig. Rig is quite the powerful card and quite the powerful card against us, so I think I might go ahead and take it. I don't know if it's better than Deadweight. I mean, that could be a mistake. I think both of them are significantly better than Think Twice. I mean, they're the kind of cards you want to draw if you're casting Think Twice. I'm going to go ahead and hide this guy. We have a lot of reanimation stuff, so like our Geistcatcher's Rig could potentially be cast more than once. Our Deadweight, like, we also have a lot of stuff that can provide us defense earlier, so I'm not as concerned with Deadweight being that's, you know, I'm not as concerned with the early drops to survive anymore. I think this can let us, yeah, I mean, I think it's good enough against us, and it's good enough for us later game that, yeah, it's going to be worth taking. And, wow, so let's hope this Ghoul Raiser comes later. I think now is the time to get the Silent Departure. Obviously, we're not a human deck, so the Cleaver's not very good at all. Lantern Spirit's very good, especially against stuff like Cleaver, since you can prevent them from gaining the life. Dissipate, I only find to be mediocre, because we're going to be tapping out for a lot of things. Silent Departure, a card that can be cast from our graveyard. And we've seen that Zombie Goliath. We do want an answer to stuff like that. And this is it right here. And hopefully we will that Ghoul Raiser again. It'd be kind of nice to have 3. Wow. And finally, this is like the pack of nothings. I think we might just go ahead and grab Fiend Hunter. I hate drafting, but like, I don't think the Brain Weevils will ever get played in our deck. Just doesn't. I mean, it triggers Morbid, and, you know, can cycle a land for Murder the Crows. It's a powerful card for our deck, but like taking it this early, I think we'd get another one if we really need it. Like, it might even table. In fact, it probably will table. I don't see us ever playing Lost in the Mists. This is the card that's best against us, so just going to go ahead and grab it, I guess. Well, another land. However, I think Forbidden Alchemy, like, yeah, Forbidden Alchemy is quite the card. Not worth scooping up a rare land just yet. Seems like we always have something we want to take over. Rare draft and lands. We're not splashing anything, so, yep, quite the easy pick. Another Deranged Assistant is not unwelcome, though Blazing Torch is good against us because we can't really block. But I think I like the extra mana ramp from the Assistant and the card advantage. Like, turning over Assistant, dumping a zombie in our graveyard, and casting this dude on turn 3, or sorry, turn 4 is fine too. I mean, I think another Assistant is better than the Torch for us. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take them. Here's a pack that just literally offers us nothing. I'd say that the Disciple's probably the scarier card for us, since it can do things like combo with Trader's Blood if somebody is playing black-red for some bizarre reason. I don't really care about any of these other cards. Yeah. Oh, no. And again, nothing. We don't have any spirits anymore. I guess Gallows Warden's the only card we really care about here. Somebody could have us, I guess, all instants and sorceries and delvers, since there's that many, but I don't think so. Yeah. Oh, wow, and so we get a Scab Goliath. I think we can play him. He's probably better than, like, Vampire Interloper. Probably. Can we play him? Or would we rather have, like, Rotting Fen Snake? Because I'll try the Scab Goliath. I don't think we'd rather have another Rotting Fen Snake. I don't think that would make the cut, nor the Weevil. Lumberknot is such a beating, and people just don't realize it yet. Will we ever play Village Cannibals or another Sensory Deprivation? I don't think we'd play either. Yeah, they both don't seem like they'd ever come into our deck. I'm just going to hate the Lumberknot. Ooh, nice. And, well, I think we would play a third Ghoul Razor. The more Ghoul Razors you have, the better the Ghoul Razors. And here are the cards we were considering earlier. Both came back. I think I'll go ahead and take Brain Weevil. I hate this counterspell. Though, maybe if they have stuff like Claustrophobia, or we haven't seen a name, we're playing blue. Or the other Pacifism, it could be better, but, nah. I hate the Delver. So we don't have a lot of ways to trigger Morbidity for the Banshee. That could be a drawback for us. I don't think I'm playing Interloper with this deck. God, we're going to have some cuts to make. This thing is, like, we have so much graveyard recursion, I don't know if it's even worth playing Scab Goliath. I mean, I took him over, what, like Brain Weevils, which we got in Rotting Fen Snake, which I don't think I'd be playing a second of either. Just the card advantage from Ghoul Razor's Corpses, like, we can almost endlessly chump with these types of things. I don't think the Sensory Deprivation is making it in. I like the two assistants. I'll put this guy over here for now. Geist Catcher's Rig we're playing. I'll put this guy over here for now, but I doubt we're playing him. I'm pretty sure we're playing the Fen Snake, but it's possible or not. He fits so well with our theme. I wish I got more Walking Corpses. Like, I'd rather have Walking Corpses than Fen Snake, of course. Alright. Oops. Even though we have two assistants, this deck is mana heavy. I mean, I want to have 8 mana when I cast this. If this is in our graveyard, I want to have 10 mana. So I don't think running 16 lands with these, even though we have some card draw, is ever a good idea. So now the question really becomes, what do we cut? I don't really want to cut a zombie with my zombie. Let's see, there you got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zombies. But maybe it's okay to cut a zombie. Like, Ghoul Razors can be bringing back Ghoul Razors over and over. They don't necessarily have to be getting the Fen Snake. And Ghoul Caller's Chant is, I mean, it's really good on 2 zombies, but it's also really good if we mill something like the Rig or even a Banshee after combat. Like swinging in with the Ghoul Razor to get back, you know, it dies. We have a Ghoul Razor in hand to get him back, and we can also just Ghoul Caller's Chant out a Banshee at the same time. That sounds like a solid plan. So I think we would probably want to cut the Fen Snake here. Because we have enough zombie targets as it is. And the chants, as I said, are fine at bringing back these guys. Though, I mean, milling this guy to our graveyard makes these cards that much better just starting with. It just depends on how many targets we think we will have. Like, what on average, if I armored Scab, how many zombies am I going to hit? I think this is, yeah, I think it's actually good to cut this guy. We're probably always going to have enough targets when we're running. Like, so if we have one of these in our hand, we would have, and we just cast this, we would have 5 targets to hit. Meaning if we armored scab, sorry, we would have what, 4 targets? 4 zombies. So if we armored scab, we would flip over, let's say, you know, you have like 26 cards left in your library, 1/6 of them would be a good target to hit. I don't know what the odds are when you flip over 4 of them. And how much they would go up with an extra fence snake. Like, I don't really see us wanting to, even though it's such synergy just with Murder of Crows, putting that stuff in our graveyard too. Screeching Bats, maybe Screeching Bats like the card that we don't want. How many, we have enough flyers? Yeah, just because of the synergy, I think maybe Bat's not as good as Rotting Fence Snake. Like, that sounds crazy. Because, like, Fence Snake's not very good. I mean, he's better on defense because he can trade with the big green creatures, like big werewolves, than he is on offense, because on offense he trades with a token or a Doomed Traveler. Whereas Bat's pretty good offense, but do I really care about getting offense really when we, you know, have this type of stuff as a finisher and can even just finish with big guys in the air? I think I'd rather just play the Fence Snake. And I also, the Scabbed Goliath, the exiling stuff, while he's huge and he's a zombie, I don't really care to exile a lot of creatures from my graveyard. It's better to try and bring them back. It's funny sitting these and playing a Fence Snake, but that looks like it might be best for this deck. Just, I think synergy in this format, above all formats, I think synergy and deck building is more important than anything else. And sometimes a power level of a card will change based on the synergy of your deck, and I think this is one of those cases. Whereas this looks like, I mean, we could easily sideboard. That's weird. It's showing me all 3. Huh. We could easily sideboard in the Screeching Bat. But, like in the case that we need to block early flyers, but he doesn't really block any. Like the white flyers are Chapelgeist, the Voiceless Spirit, and the 2/2 Flying Vigilance. The only one he actually blocks is the Flying Vigilance one. As a 5/5, he blocks like the 4/4 werewolves and stuff, but this guy effectively does that too because he's just going to come back anyway. And casting him doesn't immediately block a werewolf, whereas this guy does. I think, yeah, it's odd, but I think this guy's even better on defense, and we don't need the offense. So this is what I am going with. I think, while, yeah, it's recommending, I think 10/7 might be it, though. Like, we want to have double black. We want to have triple black. We do want to have a little bit of blue early, though. Like, these guys, since I have 3 of them in these, it's fine to come out in turn 3. Just go ahead and throw them out there. Yeah, I think 10/7's fine. We want to make sure we have the black more than anything else. And by the time we can cast a Murder, we'll probably have 2 blue. Though we want to have, you know, extra blue early. I don't think it's... I'd rather have the extra black. Make sure we have, you know, 2 black on turn 4. Yeah, I think 10/7's good. And also not too bad to have, you know, 3 black in an island in play, because then we could cast this and Gore Razor on the same turn and bring a ton of stuff back. Anyway, this looks like what I want to see, and I will see you in round 1.